technical service manager I'm representing the PHEC, who is on leave. My team here includes Mr. Bob Kudam, is protector, control, and testing engineer. We have Mr. Otom, who is in charge of
the morning once management staff of the Cross River State Electrification Agency, the new management team has just been reconstituted, and we thought it necessary to interface with you as we look forward to more business ties and partnership. So we are going to be working together to ensure that the entire mix and trainings of the state are properly electrified. So with us here is the Director General, Right Honorable Dr. Jake Utwenya, and next to him is Mrs. Oba Akeda. Next is the Director Electrical. Is the Director. Then the Internal Auditor, Mr. Francis Ashibu. And then next to you is the Director of Projects, Honorable Alessi Mbang. Next is our Director of Maintenance, Engineer Sylvester Onyo, and then our Honorable Director for Finance is Mr. Tony Ikpeme, and my humble self, the Information Officer, Mrs. Rekbene Uket.
So thank you for hosting us today, even when the information to you was only some few days ago. Our intention of coming members of the Cross River State Electrification Agency to interface with you in several fold. Principally is to come and meet with you, to get acquainted with you, so that you also know as a fact and reality that the newly constituted State Electrification Agency by His Excellency Professor Ben Ayade and on board. Secondly, to interface on what you actually do for Cross River State, and also the need for synergy between the agency, your office, and other stakeholders as far as power is concerned across the state. Let me sincerely begin by thanking you for your work so far since you came on board. Ensuring that this very vital component of service delivery, that is electrification and power supply and distribution, you've been taking it with all amount of seriousness. We actually know what it means, to give a community, a state, in fact a nation, power. We as an agency, we are only acting as a catalyst to complement the effort of Cross River State government in respect of distribution, maintenance, and provision of the electricity infrastructure, to the entire communities in Cross River State, and also the municipality. The agency is an establishment of the law. It's been in existence for the past 9 years to 9 years now. After its creation, it's a statutory body, and our responsibilities are very clear. We act for Cross River State government to make sure that we interface with all the relevant stakeholders as far as the power sector is concerned. We are quite aware of the enormous responsibility, particularly now that our nation is desirous of effective and efficient power supply. We are also aware of the fact that given the nature of our state and the local extent to which a lot of our communities are, your responsibilities is even much. Well, to say the least, we are living witnesses to the fact of what is playing around among the discos in this country. and particularly the PHEC here, that we are within. We are also aware of the fact that right from when we resumed, we've been having some interface with a lot of our consumers, our customers, our citizens, to actually have a kind of feedback, the extent to which they appreciate, the distribution of power and the extent to which it is consistent. Well, I wish to thank you so far, but maybe recently there have been this increase, the supply of power to us, that is to Cross River State, even though we are yet to attain the necessary benchmark of the need requirement, the load requirement as far as Cross River State is concerned. So we have to appreciate you in that. But our major concern, given the fact of our law too, is that we serve our government, we are appointed for a purpose, to serve the interests of Cross River State and its people, and indeed all residents of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Cross River State, in terms of the actual supply and utilization of this service. We've been having, since we came on board, some complaints here and there. We are human, people are human, citizens are human. There's nothing you can do that will achieve 100%. Even when you so achieve, there will still be complaints. But there are some reasoning complaints which we thought they are within their own spheres to address. The relationship between your organization and us all, that is the citizens of Cross River State, is more or less contractual. You do your own part, the citizens will have our own part to do. But as Cross River, these complaints are always there. Majorly the fact that a lot of them are talking about the fact that there is this absolute lack of the complaint strategy or mechanism where our consumers, where our customers, where our citizens have to put across their complaints in respect to the sparse supply as far as this thing is concerned. You have the different locations, different stations, different districts within the municipality and even outside the state. But see, when there is a fault, take for example, when there is a fault in Lemna, where is the responsibility center? Where should complaint be channeled? So that you come to you, then you now take it to Port. A lot of people have come to complain to us. They do complain to their various stations or sub-stations here and there. But almost always those complaints are not taken up. And they are kept in the dark. A lot of people suffer for a number of months without this infrastructure, without this light. Even when there is no defect in the transformer and the rest of them. So there is need for your office to develop a strategy for the interest of all of us. Consumer interest is taking the center stage in our politics and even in our society today. Gone are the days where who is a consumer, who is a citizen. It can just treat the people, but here is a contractual relationship. And so people are becoming aware of their rights on a daily basis. So it is now a duty on the part of your office to begin to think of developing, a complaint strategy where people can channel their complaints immediately and those complaints are heard and attended to. Even if nothing is done, but let there be some sign that the complaint is heard by the necessary authority. It will give some joy, it will give some respite to a lot of us. Besides, when we know what is involved in your distribution network and mechanism, not always that we used to have this plan, but when it is not to be given, you have a courtesy, you should have a courtesy of telling the citizenry or your other party, as far as the contract is concerned, the fact that, look, within this hour of the day, we are not going to give you without issues against the body. But here is because they are in a coronavirus, to inform the people around, to see with you and bear with you and that. In the situation where we remain perpetually in the dark, we don't know when the light will come, when it will not come, it is not good enough for the level of our development. So we should begin to also develop strategies in how we can get this. And this, at times, the rampant black aspect of the business. But when we remain in the dark, You know, the people will just think that the citizens are being taken for granted. You know, and they'll be reacting. The time will come when people will have to be reacting. You know, and I think that we think that you should do this for us, for the interest of the business and for the interest of the citizen. But there are key issues which in our interface we're giving our principal officers and engineers that are in the office, actually drew our attention to the fact that there are about 16 projects that have been completed by the Cross River State government throughout the state, an education intervention project. And these projects are yet to be connected to the national grid, which is not the responsibility of the state government, but the state government owe it as a duty, having invested this much, to help the citizenry. So the issue of connecting to the national grid is not the responsibility of the state. The necessary information has been put to you. They have drawn your attention to that fact. They have seen letters in the office there that is made to this office to take over this project and connect them. But they have been lying down there. And you know what happened? They attack now the communities or the people, now they are not attacking government. What's the essence of putting these poles, putting this wire, putting these transformers here and there? You only deceive us that you are putting this structure where we cannot have the actual service that is required. The service is not the pole, it's not the wire, but it's the light, which is not forthcoming. Some of them have been standing there for more than 1 year, and they still have done their own part. What is wrong with this office connecting into the group and giving the people light? Because we have a letter here in your office, and I even have a copy here that they have informed this office about the completion of our system project, awaiting their takeover. So we wish that you would throw light on that for us, because it is, our people are agitated, and we should speak for government in this respect. Again, from the beginning of the Cross River State Electrification Agency in 2008, precisely after its enabling law in 2007, they have been backed on projects as far as generation of electricity, distribution and maintenance. The working sum of about 10 billion has been put into it. There is a record, by the Cross River State government. This is just from 2008, today it's about 10 billion naira. And we thought that ordinarily this service is supposed to be the federal government, and we certainly are not competent, to have this amount of money. But here we have invested. We thought that there would be a reimbursement, by the federal government of the office to the Cross River State government. And with that agitation in the past, representation has been made to your office here. When you have your meeting here with NERC and your office, and even see in the past, we have a record, you promise that we will take up this matter. So it's not been addressed. So we are still asking them. The state government have done much, and we are still doing. And particularly this administration, the government has shown so much determination to make sure that even the worst of the communities is, the supply we like. But you see, the encouragement can only come if the federal government or the office is also doing something on your part to see if you can have, it cannot, we know certainly we may not have the 10 billion in a go, but where you begin to encourage the state or begin to rely the office of federal government, by way of reimbursement or whatever it may be, with security and order me to actually deposit. Is this still going on? Is it being cancelled? Or I know there are some complaints from certain communities that they need to pay, this money for light to be connected, to them. So we need to actually know whether we cannot write off completely the activities of some people who may be acting not with the authority of this product, this education product. They will be demand for you. So a lot of people, either officially or illegally, they engage in several connections here and there. Besides, there is expansion there, as far as our communities are concerned. Even within the town here, if you look at Calabar of 5 years ago, it is not the same as Calabar of today. given the expansion, the growth that is going on around, and the expansion of the development. So development calls for more demands for this product. So how will they be in that? Some of them engage in self-help, if they know that your office is not coming up to do what is right. They engage in self-help when it is to the caretaker of those infrastructures. We are going to help you in this regard. We will do the best we can to also sensitize perseverance and our communities. But we think that you should also do your own part by encouraging.
Thank you very much. We also have a customer care in all our business service centers. We have 4 business service centers. We have one at Koromi. We have one at Shedimoto. We have one here that covers the Poly Metropolitan Business Center. We have another one at Kalabasa. So, and in all these business service centers, we have customer care officers, and their numbers are there where you can send your complaint. Even when you look at our bill, it's just that a lot of people don't have that patience to read through our bill. So the numbers of the call center and the customer care officer, they are all there, so that one can make sure. Normally, when such calls are made to them, they record the complaint and pass it to the system portal, whether it is a marketing issue or that's billing issue, or it has to do with a technical complaint. So we have such a system.
How effective is the issue?
Well, we are working we are trying to make sure that everybody is, the company just took over the activities of our distribution not too long ago, about 2 years ago. But we are trying to make sure that people respond quickly to calls. Then on the issue of disseminating information to people, especially when there is a fault. Unfortunately, our corporate communication department, we don't have any corporate communication department within here in Calabar. We have the headquarters in Port Harcourt. They handle such issues. So, and when we have major breakdown, we normally notify them so that they will do their job. Technically too, sometimes we feel there are some faults that may not need to come and blow it up because of your just using of vandalism. Many times when we just tell people that we have faults or we have problems, some people might feel into that go and vandalize our equipment. So sometimes those ones that we know that we can quickly handle, we may not need to talk too much about it to avoid giving some useful information that will make them go and vandalize. But the major ones will inform our headquarters that handle such issues. On the issue of 16 number projects completed within the state that are yet to be connected to the grid, it might interest you to note that we have two integrated business centers in Cross River State. As Paradise Settlement handles the southern part of Cross River and Karabata, the northern part is handled by Paradise City North. And I think I've gone through that list. Most of those projects are within Paradise City North. So I don't think there is anyone. I think I show you that list.
No,
anyone within. Okay, if there is anyone, we'll look into it and see what.
Well, Sam and Robo projects.
Okay, so whatever it is, anyone that is, because I know that majority of them are.
That's a south.
Sir, you also mentioned about the investment that the state government has made, 10 billion naira. On that issue, that one is actually beyond us here. It's PHEC headquarters that handle that, and I know such presentation has been made to them. So I believe the state government might approach PHEC headquarters to discuss further on that. I don't know what they have said about that, but I know by the time state government approaches PHEC, they will have their own, they will say what they can do. on that.
Please, technical manager. There's an issue that people who explained before. This time, just mainly those maintenance. And we wrote a letter, we put in 2 letters through your office, which you said you send it to me. And we have not received any reply from those letters. It has to do, my DG has said something about 10 billion. But this one is little money that can be recouped in terms of maybe giving bill if you can pay the state government or a way of at least if you see how we can operate. That letter will not receive the reply from the court.
Okay, I remember we discussed about on overload. Okay, now nothing has been done about it, but they are aware that we have a lot of overloaded, not just overloaded, we also have a lot of failed transformers. We are still awaiting their response. Only last week, they replaced 2 failed transformers at the account that we are just delivered by the name of this FT and other stakeholders. I'll pass the message to my head so that when he returns, I can now think of how it can be done. Okay, but you mentioned about the power situation in Portugal. Okay, actually, Calabar will need more than 70 megawatts of electricity. But presently, more than that, you know, there are so many loads that are not being, there are a lot of people that are not using power because of this situation. Because suppressed loads. They are not connected, not that the roads are there, but maybe because of one problem or the other, the lines are not functioning. They are not connected. Or maybe when you even give supply because of fault, all these failed transformers, they are not having supply. So such load, because of that and because of all these suppressed load, I believe that we need more than 70 megawatts. I mean Calabar. But presently, the transmission station here is just taking an average of 40, 45. Sometimes it climbs up to 50 megawatts. We are having some issues at our injection substation at Swami. We have a 7.5 MVA transformer that is capable of at least taking about 6 megawatts of energy. That is 40. That transformer is just out. So presently we are making use of only 15 MVA, 2 number 15 MVA, one is that, and the other one is that. I'm just compiling some reports now where I was asked to prepare projects for this year. I have included some of these as things that we commonly need to do to improve power. Then, all the NIPP substations that have been installed, by the time they start evacuating power, I think we will have.
So what's the problem with it?
Okay, presently, it's only one that is functional now. The one at ACP. The one at Diamond Hill has not been fully completed. They are having issues with their switch there. And somebody has been sent to come and look into the switch there. The one at PHEC has not been commissioned. The one at Ibipani has not been commissioned. So by the time all these substations are commissioned, we are hopeful that we are going to evacuate more than 50 to 60 megawatts and improve power supply. And the one in PHEC is very strategic in the sense that by the time it comes up, most of the Calabar South, they will have better supply.
And it's not been commissioned?
It hasn't been commissioned. And on our own, when we took over the management of this place, we sat down, analyzed, and came up with a list of projects which we think will help this company and help evacuate power effectively. Well, our company is constrained. For now, nothing has been done. We have been representing all these things on a regular basis. Each time they ask us for information, we send to them concerning these projects that need to be done that have not been done. So we are not idle, so to say. We are trying our best, but there's a limit to which we can act. Everything revolves around form, which we don't have.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, do you have any reaction?
What one of the issues might be. Thank you. It's about the response to the 2 meetings we had with you. That was sometime October last year. And one of those issues, they are very, very, very important. One of them is very important. For instance, when the president came to do the groundbreaking ceremony at the Nsanobu for this superhighway, it was when this Nsanobu community complained about the electrification project, which we have completed as far back as 2010, has not been energized. It was then you are empty. Phoned me from Port Harcourt that they are not aware of a project like that not being energized. So I refer him to your office here. That there was a letter to that effect, and I even referenced the letter to him. So please, I will suggest you speed up that action. Possibly, you make a copy of that letter. Maybe fax the letter to him again as a reminder. This issue of a reimbursement. We had a meeting with your business manager, Mr. Engineer Otiji, here in your office here. And he promised that he will forward the issue we discussed with a follow-up letter to your Port Harcourt office, headquarters. And up to now, we are still expecting a response to that effect. So I will also indulge you also do a reminder to that second one. Thank you.
The detailed briefing that you have given to us. We share in all your constraints, but how we want to believe that there is need for a better follow-up to your Port Harcourt head office so that we can have better services this way. It appears that once a complaint is forwarded, you do nothing about it, and it may as well just be lying there. So I would suggest that you strengthen the follow-up mechanism so that the consumers can be better for it. Thank you very much.
You mentioned anything about the security deposits that communities are being asked to pay for them to be connected to electricity. I think we left that out.
And then vision of the administration is actually very clear. And our own mandate is to ensure that the perseverance that all nooks and corners get the best of electricity within their locality. So issues that have been moribund with your institution in the past, if there are anyone which you think you could bring to the fore for us to see how we can fast track, probably with you here or even with your head office, I think the earlier we do that, the better. And then you should also sensitize your staff to know that there's a new work now which wants to work hand in hand with them and all for the betterment of perseverance.
Of this very important organization. I want to sincerely thank you, sir, for opening your doors to us at a very short notice, and the reception has been very warm. We've interacted with you, raised issues that we know that after today there's going to be a turnaround in your services to our people, because like DG has rightly said, it's our mandate for us to ensure that the people at the grassroots across from Bakassi to Obanliko enjoy the services. They're willing to pay for it, and for those who have paid for it, the desire to get the best out of this organization. And I'm happy that you've promised perseverance that from now henceforth there is going to be a turnaround. and we'll be looking forward to that, because there is nothing as important as light. When you give a community light, you have opened up that area for development. So, Mr. Head, you'll be hearing from us from time to time. We're going to be interacting with you, because we're in this business together. We're partners in this to ensure that our people get the services. So thank you once again, and the management staff, thank you for the warm reception. Like I said, you accorded us, and we believe that Cross Riverence will have cause to see that in this administration that Professor Benaya, they came and lit up the entire state from Bakassi to Urban Lake. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
When we finish, yeah, I want to know that we are coming.
Team of the State Electrification Agency. As you can see, we've been receiving most of it. So we are here to interface with you.
Achieved worthy title.
We have
Overdue, Calabar, and other managers, directors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Madam, we have come this morning, the members of the reconstituted Cross River State Electrification Agency, to interface with you, basically to first let you, as a responsible and fundamental agency of government, for the propagation of activities of government, that we are around in the first instance, and that we are fully constituted and are now carrying out the function as clearly stated in the law establishing this agency. But before we get into it, let me, on behalf of the agency, congratulate you for coming back, to this seat once again. We think that you are coming this time around. We push and take this cooperation to another level, because that's the vision of our state. We have to add value to wherever we find ourselves. So we wish to, congratulate you and thank God for you. And that you're also coming at a time that the philosophy of this new government actually require re-engineering, so that we ensure that our people get maximum satisfaction for services at the very, very reduced cost, and the propagation of government activities to the citizenry, to enable the citizen evaluate the impact of government. This is predicated upon the fact that, when we go out for electioneering, there are a lot of things the government actually promised the people that they are going to so do. And it is only with a government agency of this nature that is in charge of publicity, publicizing the activities of government, that the people can actually know whether the government is still thinking about the electioneering promises. For us here within the urban, it's a different ballgame. But we thank God as well that your station in Ikom is also doing very well, propagating to all the areas of the northern and central senatorial district. And we are happy for that. But basically, like I said, is that we are on board. We started our work, so we deemed it necessary that we should come interface with you that I'll let you know our own agenda and what we expect, from the Cross River Radio Corporation. Thank you, Madam. Firstly, we want to say that as a government institute, in fact, the only one for now, CRBC, charged with this responsibility, we wish that as much as possible, you cover our activities the best you can, notwithstanding your commercial or profitability objective. We think that it is a social function, to actually sell out your government. And your government can best be sold out when activities of the real NDAs are being publicized here and there. It is one thing for government to create a given department, to create a given ministry, or to empower a particular agency or board. But another is actually whether the people that are even placed there, actually know what is expected of them to key up with the overall mission statement of our government. So that is why we deem it necessary that we should come. Because here in ours, by the law creating the Cross River State Electrification Agency, law number 18 of 2007, we are empowered to carry out all activities in respect of providing electricity infrastructure to all the communities of Cross River State, including the urban centers. That's our basic responsibility. Issues of generation, issues of distribution, and issues of maintenance of the existing infrastructure as far as electricity is concerned. And this is the most problematic area for today, not just in Cross River State in Nigeria, power supply. And so that is why we deem it necessary to go out. Because one of the areas our government will be measured is the extent to which our people enjoy this infrastructure. And so we deem it that we cannot do it alone. It will be a cooperation between all of us, to make sure that we'll sell it out. In the past, activities that are carried out by sea are just limited to them. We don't hear of, this is not a primary responsibility of the Cross River State government. Electricity is wholly that of federal, exclusive list. But it is only an intervention by the state because of the sufferings of the people. If we have to sit back and allow, the presidency or Buhari or whatever to come down, to come and give us light, maybe in my local community in Bube or in Africa or anywhere, certainly we definitely will not get there. That is why, notwithstanding our very scarce resources, our paucity of funds, the states still get into intervening. So it's not strictly our function, but we only intervene to augment whatever the federal government is doing. But almost always it has become as if it is the sole responsibility of the state to do this function. So you will be, the avenue, the agent, we will use to help us enlighten, educate our people in respect of this provision. Again, there has been that outcry generally by our people, including ourselves in the urban cities. Even when this service is camped, they come and go at their own instant. We don't have any conscious control of when we have lights. They can just decide to take light the whole week, the whole month. Nobody comes. Even when you make your complaints are not heard anywhere. This era has gone. People are becoming conscious of their rights. In developed societies, you cannot do this. But here, it goes unabated and nobody seems to be concerned. We don't expect the governor to come in and begin to chase, these power-holding people and the rest of them. No, it is the agency that is set up by government to intervene in that area. That is why we have just finished from PHEC office to tell them that we're around and that it's not going to be business as usual. Because we know very well that our people, we don't have what it takes. We don't have the muscles. We don't have nothing to pursue our rights. But then they should note that they are out there to perform a service. It is contractual in nature. While the people, the citizenry are doing their own, they should also do their own. You have some substations, complaint area, customer service area, even within the municipality here. But you make your complaint economy there, it will take about 1 month, 2 months from their representative in economy to bring this matter, the complaint, the consumer complaint, the substation there, to here, the head office here in this office over here. Then you can always imagine how long it will take to get to Port Harcourt. So these are the issues that are playing before us. And so it's now time for people to be educated. And we cannot on our own begin to go from house to house to do that education. It is only through a government agency like this. So the need for this interface is very paramount. You know, people just stay, they just take light, nothing, they just do what they like. Transformers are overloaded, so many things are happening, even in telecommunications, everything is the other way around. We've come so that as a government agency, you help us in this direction to be, you know, telling the consumers, the customers what their rights are, how they should make their complaint, how they should pursue their complaint, and interfacing, you know, for them with the power holding people. So that is basically our own very candid appeal. More so, we also have the view that, you know, the time has come where you have to, you know, maybe come up with a program, you know, for MDAs. Could be once a week, could be once a month. But for MDAs to make sure that they come up and sell out government, you know, what they are doing in their respective MDAs, because the entire state is a system made out of these MDAs that are subset of this system. And if one is defective, definitely will not achieve the aims of government. No matter how good the governor may have, you know, his objective, he certainly will not. Because when people are in the dark up to today, you know, they say the governor has created so many ministries, this is that. You know, it is not the place of the governor to go and mount the podium and begin to tell the world, this one is for this one is for that. It is the place of those functionaries to come up to tell the world, this is our responsibility, this is how we are going to pursue it, this is how we are going to pursue that. And so a program by you, man, will definitely help in this direction. And I know that the constraint that may follow, without is the fact that, you know, some will complain that, you know, you are for commercial businesses and all that, but I think that the interest of the state should, at least even if it is brought to the barest minimum in terms of, you know, meeting the aims too of their revenue objective by bringing the amount for MDAs, you know, to some minimum, if not free. You know, yes, if not free. Yeah, it's the interest of government, you know. I know that you have a target for revenue. I'm speaking from the other side too. Once a month, we think that we want to create sensitization, enough sensitization to consumers generally on the usage of this electrification infrastructure, the maintenance, the security, their complaint, and how to follow up. Because some people will just be in the dark. They don't even know what to say. You know, just say NEPA or whoever.
Broadcasting Corporation. I've listened to your comments, and I really want to say that it's only a visionary leader like our governor who can come up with this very powerful team. Because I know some of the people here, and they're action-packed. Like Right Honorable here, you know, wherever she is, things must happen. And of course, electricity is critical. It's vital to our very existence. I think there's a direct correlation between economic development, economic advancement, and sustainability. Connected directly with electricity. Constant power supply is really critical if we want to leave the status that we're in now as a developing country. We must have electricity. It helps small businesses to grow because people spend so much money generating alternative electricity. Like us here at Cross River Broadcasting Corporation, we're on generator practically 24 hours a day. And that means a lot of the funding we get from government goes towards buying diesel. And that's why we need to, I would call it charge our customers, such as yourself, a token. Really, some amount that would contribute to the revenue generation, because apart from spending so much money on diesel, we still have to generate revenue for government, and that's why we really will be charging you. I'm sure it's something very minimal that the agency can manage, because you've talked about very beautiful programs. We already have a program for MDAs that we're developing the concept, so that is coming on board. I like the concept of the radio program, but I would be more comfortable with a weekly program, because for listeners, if you talk and say something today and you don't come back and continue with they'll forget about it, and then you have to start explaining all over again. So I would like to see a regular weekly program for the 13-week period, a quarterly program for the 13 weeks that we usually have. And the consumer parliament, I think, is a brilliant idea. That could come up quarterly. It could be live. With Engineer 2 here, I know he's looking at me with the OB van, you know, it would be good to have people actually speaking with you, because at the end of the day, we're just like a go-between between the people and government. So I really like that concept of the consumer parliament. I think these are things that we can make happen working together. But I would really appreciate it if you could put in your budget some little stipend or whatever you want to call it for CRBC, so that would contribute towards our revenue generation. We would appreciate that.
And you know, if government is actually living to, you know, the lights, and you know, as much as possible, be very responsive to the promises that were given to our people during the elections. And we cannot do this without, you know, partnering with you. And we've come today, and we're happy that you have received us. And we know that from now henceforth, that it's going to be business the way it should be. For every step of the way we go, there will be enough, you know, awareness created from it, because our people need to know what the Professor Ben Ayade government is doing. It's important, because this is the government that wants to lit up Bakassi to Obanliko, to all the nooks and crannies of our state. He desires, you know, to do this, and like you said, he has a team that are poised, that are ready to work 24 hours in a day to ensure that our people get the services at very minimal effort. So, madam, I'm not saying a vote of thanks, because I think my director there also wants to say something, but I think you have a round peg. Is it a round peg or a square peg? Round peg in a round hole, both from our own side and from your own side. So thank you so much for this opportunity you've given us this morning.
Much for hosting us, and on the good insights you've been able to express. But I think for us as an agency, one of the key things we need to bring to your attention is the fact that we would like to see a situation whereby when our news are being captured, it should be such that it could be sustainable and motivating to the listeners or to the viewers if it's on television. Because when there's that disconnect where they do not understand what we are trying to communicate to them, then probably when they now hear the news of the agency coming up again, probably on radio or television, they might not be interested again. Specifically, what I'm driving at is that the people who are capturing the news, both your cameramen, the reportage unit, they need to be this synchronization so that our news comes out well. A situation whereby, well, you capture a news item of the agency and the DG is probably making a speech, and then the cameras are just viewing people without not focusing on it, and then vital ingredients of components of speeches made are completely left, unheard. Becomes a problem to us because few instances we've experienced this, and at the end of the day, it turned out to be that we didn't even need to invite the press or the journalists who have covered our event. So the real essence of our coming here is for you also to critically look into that, because let it not be a situation whereby the reporting unit or reporters have sent in their news to the editors, and then the editors now use their discretion to delete sensitive aspect of what has been. So I think if you look closely, you should be able to understand what I really mean, because from day one, if the news is noticing, so that it could go well.
People that cover you, it is not known to CRBC, but because we have to cover or we have to publicize your activities, we take it, we accept what comes to us.
Okay, what you're saying is...
What comes to me, I accept without demanding for any payment or anything like that. So if you have done anything or you have engaged anybody to cover and you paid anybody anything that is not good for you, I think I can say CRBC is not involved.
Well, I was just thinking...
That's why we are running generator permanently.
But like I said, if we also have to wait for them to come, it may take months, it may take years, it may not even come at all. Then your service here will be granted. That is one of the philosophy behind the setting up of this C, the State Electrification Agency. It's an intervention agency by government, to look at some of these loopholes, some of these problem areas that government should intervene. At the request you have made, certainly we provide, the state government intervene in providing transformers to communities, to organizations, and all that. Like since we came in 3 weeks now, we've had about 120 requests, for transformers. But I thank God that His Excellency, even before we came on board, is already, the arrangement is almost 90% completed to get in, so many transformers, to the agency. But the few we met on ground, about 15 or 20, we are still trying to see, what we have to do to prioritize, to very key result areas. You've made your case today, but I wish to advise that we follow up your case with a letter, an official request, to the agency, and copy His Excellency the government, because we are compiling those key areas now for us to take to His Excellency for approval, so that we can utilize the available ones we met on ground. That is what we are doing. So if you don't come within the period, so we'll definitely push it. I assure you that we'll make a case for CRBC. If it is the issue is transformer, we'll make a case for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, that's quite desirable that among state days, that electronic media is stressed for time, for airtime, at all times, because we have so many stories seeking for attention. But I must agree with you, most importantly, that the vital ingredients of any newsworthy event must be brought to the listener, the viewer. And so we'll try as much as we can to ensure that your events are probably brought to the attention of the public. But please, we will not be able to reproduce everything, because if we do that, it's no longer called news. It is edited or unedited rebroadcast of what you did. Thank you.
So again, coming back to this 6, we say a big thank you to you. A very short notice, you open your doors to us. You gave us an insight. You are willing to partner with C, so that cross-variants can know what we're doing, what their rights in the circumstances are. We thank you so very much. On our part, We'll do our very best too to see how we can assist so that our programs will be made known to the consumer. On the issue of stipend, well, it's to very fruitful cooperation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. So, when you give that, that's what you looking for us.
We should move back.
We'll not quick with Gabby. The Cross River State Electrification Agency, we are set up under law number 18 of 2007. It started full business in 2008. We are being reconstituted by the new administration led by Senator Professor Ben Ayade to continue from where the past office holder had left. We have come, we have resumed, and we are seeing things for ourselves. And by the enabling law, we have to ensure that there is electricity infrastructure across the variants, and also ensure that the distribution is effective and efficient. More so, we maintain the existing lines, electrification lines in the state, and to also interface with all relevant stakeholders as far as power is concerned in the state to ensure that the citizens receive this service or electricity infrastructure with less stress, with less cost. So we can only effectively carry out this if we go around and interface with all the connecting subsector that are responsible for the supply of this electricity infrastructure. So our main visit, our main concern, visiting the Port Harcourt Electrification Distribution Company, the Cross River State office, is to certainly interface to let them know that we are on ground, and secondly, to address some issues that electricity consumers in Cross River State are facing right now. More so to remind them of some of the issues that have either been raised that concern Cross River State government, their office, and federal government in respect of provision of electricity. We have successfully done that. We have articulated our issues with the head, the management staff of the Port Harcourt Electrification Distribution Company in Canada, and they promised that they are going to take our request very seriously. Because a situation where we have some areas remain in the dark for months, for weeks, some are for years, and it doesn't concern anybody. It's wrong. It's not acceptable. Government have done their own part by setting up the agency. They have done their own part by intervening in some of these areas. But the governor cannot go all out to go and push who is to do what. That is why we are charging the distribution company to do their own bidding, because this is a contractual relationship between the people and their office. The people are meeting their own obligations, they are paying their bills. Almost always, there's no supply of lights. Even where they have to, cut off, light, no information is given to the people. The people are just taken for granted. So where everybody is suffering, the transformer are overloaded. So even where we have these supplies, almost always the output, the light output is nothing to write them about. And so these issues must be corrected. The consumer don't even have where they make their complaints. So this issue must be addressed. Because the days where our consumers are in the dark, they tell they don't know anything, has gone. Today the whole world is moving fast and progressive. People are becoming conscious of their rights. So Cross River is not an exception. That is why we are charging them to make sure that they do their own part of the contract by ensuring that they decongest most of the transformers that are overloaded so that we can have good quality supply of light. And they also expand, or replace all transformers. It is important. Cross River State Electrification Agency is only an intervention agency. We are not supposed to do that, but government is doing everything to make sure that the sufferings of the citizens are reduced. So we think that the main function of all the main body that is responsible for this is the PHEC for now, and they should take up their work seriously. That's our position. And also to sensitize our consumers generally. The time has come when people have to be moving up to make their complaints. Not just sit back because they don't like, it doesn't concern anybody. No. So that's that. We feel that we'll certainly achieve that, and we've taken our time as well to address the issue of, what Cross River State government has invested into electricity, for the past 7 years, getting to about 10 billion naira, and we think that the federal government should begin to look at means of refunding this money to the states, because this is only an intervention by Cross River State government. And again, to also call on the the Port Harcourt Electrification Distribution Company. There are about 16 projects that have been completed by Cross River State government, and they have not been linked up, connected to the national grid for the past 1 year. They are wasting. So we have articulated that very seriously. And other issues addressing the challenges, facing consumers, we've addressed them, and we think that they are going to take that seriously. On the CRBC visit, you've heard it all yourself. We think that as a government agency, the only electronic agency that is responsible for propagating the activities of government, as much as possible, there should be an interface, a partnership with all the MDAs, not just C. So that the essence of the establishment of the CRBC is for purposes of enlightening the citizenry on government activities, propagating government matters and all that. So a situation where MDAs will not be able to properly utilize the services of CRBC just because of money or funding shouldn't be the issue. But the primary concern is for government to utilize it for the interest of government. And we know very well that government, as much as possible, is trying its own bit by funding CRBC as well. So we also know that there's a lot of the cost involved in operating the CRBC is much, the overhead cost, running the generators and the rest of them. Yes, we agree. But then, as a government agency with the sole purpose of propagating matters that have to do with government, they should give some little recognition to MDAs, issues from different MDAs, for the MDA to propagate their activities. Funds should not be a limiting factor. What I'm trying to say is that, if they have to charge any amount, it should be very, very minimal, so that MDAs can participate to propagate government matters. I'm also advocating for, the establishment of the consumer parliament, electrification consumer parliament, so that with a proper interface with CRBC, they can create a live production on this. So that we think that will bring all consumers from different senatorial districts to conglomerate in one place, maybe once a quarter, so that people will ventilate their problems, their issues that have to do with, electrification infrastructure, so that even all other stakeholders will have to be present to be able to interface directly with consumers, so that they know exactly what is playing out as far as that service is concerned. So that's why we are advocating and asking CRBC to create an opportunity to have it. It actually is going to be the first of its kind, and I think that we are going to succeed. We're going to create a lot of impact, even to the company itself, so that they will live up to their expectation, and even the consumer to know the limit to which they utilize these services and how to protect the infrastructure that is within their location. So it is important, and that's why we took out this courtesy call. I think it is good for us all. Yeah.